Welcome to Truly Rotten Potatoes. It's your host with the most, Mitch. Is that toast or is it a stroke? I don't know. I'm here with, of course, the boys, Declan, Hayden, and... fuck.
Bingo bango, everyone. Declan's here.
Bingo bango, Hayden's here.
And bingo bango, unfortunately, Morgan could not make it, but we may get a surprise appearance. We never know.
Still waiting on that surprise appearance.
He hasn't been fired and he hasn't been murdered. So that's all we can tell you at this point.
I've seen him physically.
He turned 30. We had a big birthday party for him.
And a birthday bash.
We birthday bashed the shit out of him.
We were all there. Me, Declan.
So he's in recovery. Yeah.
Morgan.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he went
Not
to
where
rehab
I come from.
after that one. Maybe he went so hard he had to check himself into rehab with Amy Winehouse.
Try to go to rehab. I said no. What's the next line?
I said no. I want to do more drugs.
That's it.
I want to do more drugs. How did Amy Winehouse talk? That's Adele. That's my Adele impression.
Oh. Here's my Adele impression. It's me turning on a computer.
I thought you were going to make the Dell noise.
I don't know. What's the Dell noise? I was going to make the Mac starting up noise, but that's not. Yeah. Does Dell go ba-ba? No, that's a Mac thing.
Netflix. I don't think Dell has...
Let's play Guess the Sound. Okay?
Okay.
What are they called? What are sonic imprints called? Or like branding noises called? Are they called like snaps or zaps or zips? There's a name for them. Stings. Are they called stings?
Stings works. Sting. Definitely, yeah. I've heard a guy who maybe was like, he worked for Mac computers and he like made some weird sound on the keyboard and they were like, that's the boot up sound, and it was used for like 20 years.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, it was one of those stories was like, the man who made the Mac sound only got paid $50,000 because he's like, yeah, that was my salary for the job or something. It wasn't. You don't get royalties for like adding a sound to the computer. I don't know.
I actually I heard of a guy called Sting. I think he was a cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was always watching people wherever they went and stuff. He was
he was a
creeping.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can do that.
Yeah.
Extra powers. COVID rules.
COVID rules.
COVID rules,
rules, dude.
Speaking of COVID, let's talk about a movie that we watched during COVID. It's not technically on the list, but we just had to discuss it.
We had to.
Just, I had this feeling in the gut of my arms.
While you were watching it, you thought this is podcast fodder.
This is
podder.
This will play well with the 30 to 35 demographic male.
I thought you were going to say the 30 to 35 people that listen to our show.
That too.
This is going to be ripe for some truly rotten banter.
The fans are going to lose their shit when they hear this one, boys.
So, the movie we are discussing today is Matrix...
Resurrections.
More like Matrix rebloated.
Wow.
Yeah, the Matrix rebooted. Ba-bung.
Which is a better title.
Yeah, that does
much
work.
Better title because it's rebooting.
Yes,
the Matrix because it's a machine.
The Matrix No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. You won't get me saying it on the mic.
I really wish you would.
I'm just going to mute my...
I was going to.
The Matrix blue screen of death. The Matrix Control-Alt-Delete.
They should have had a line in this movie where Neo said, if the Matrix is playing up, have you tried just rebooting it?
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Have you tried just turning it off and on again?
Yes.
All right, so for people who don't know, The Matrix is a film.
From 1999. All nines.
All nines. There was something in the air. Y2K. That was the bug of back then.
Something in the air tonight. It's Neo. Fernando. Kind of worked. I'm getting nothing, but it kind of worked.
I'm laughing on the inside.
Well, it's a podcast. I need it on the mic. I'm going to boost you up a little bit.
Let me just shove the mic down my throat.
Oh, Teddy.
You're that pretty far down.
He went full Mr. Bean.
Yeah, went full Mr. Bean.
So 1999.
1999, this film changed everything, and it really did.
Was this what they call like a Y2K film? Where people were going, computers are going to change everything.
Yeah, it was. There was something in the air. It was green.
God damn it.
There was oh, sorry.
You already did that, yeah.
Sorry, I got to change this page on this script. I think I just reread that.
But yeah, Gun Carter movies were coming out. That's just
So what is
martial
that?
arts
What is
gun
that?
movies.
Aaron and Nick Carter
Yeah.
with a pair of guns.
No, it's when they were really jacked. What is a Gun Carter
Aaron
film?
Carter
I don't know what
looks
that
pretty
means.
jacked now.
So it's essentially the elements are guns, martial arts, and leather jackets.
and reading in Carter on 1999 Windows.
What is the Carter part?
I think it's just
huh.
a martial arts term.
Okay.
Mm,
Cool.
Wait, so you said guns, leather jackets, martial arts?
Yeah, so
Okay.
movies like Equilibrium, like there was a billion parodies. Shrek has a fucking Matrix parody. The Matrix is just like it's in everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we're
Kung
in the
Pao
Matrix.
Enter the
Zeitgeist.
Fist had
Kung
a,
Pao,
had a,
yeah,
had a
they-
classic bullet time parody.
Fucking best.
Obviously, The Simpsons. I watched a season 16 episode yesterday, and they had just the classic green downwards writing from the Matrix computers that you do see everywhere.
And also the men's rights movement.
The red pill.
The red pill
Yeah.
movement.
Sure.
Because they saw that movie and they were like, if I take the red pill, it means that all women are whores. That's what he got
is
at.
it
Prior to that,
literally-
they're not.
Did people take it to just be as a right versus left, where it's like Republicans are red, Democrats are blue, so it's like
Fucking maybe.
I'm taking that red pill, man.
Fucking dipshits.
I'm getting red pilled right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's funny because obviously the people that made that movie are now trans sisters, and they hate those people.
And they know. And
Sorry, they're trans sisters, so they both went
Oh,
male to
transistor radios.
no, male to female, and then also white to black sisters. No,
No,
I thought you were making a
literally,
transistor joke.
They were
I
born
could
of
do
the
that
same
too.
parents. Yeah, I thought you were saying that they were trans sisters, like some sort of electrical machine.
Well, and they do say that the Matrix is a trans allegory, which makes a lot of sense. It can be really whatever you want. Waking up to the truth of the world, you know, it can be whatever.
Wasn't there a time where maybe like Ivanka Trump tweeted something and then Elon Musk commented on it and they were talking about red pilled and then like Lana Wachowski just said, fuck both of you.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, this movie is really weird because they were like, we're not going to do another Matrix movie.
As in, this new one is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, if you notice, this is only directed by Lana Wachowski. The other sister did not come back. Lily did not come back. And there was talks that they were going to do it with or without them, which is directly
They
referenced
say that
in the movie.
Yes.
Oh right. Yeah.
So, which we'll get into how much they reference
Yes.
that it's a Matrix reboot.
It gets very meta, and it's so obviously there was a Matrix trilogy. There was a first one. It was written as a single film, did really well. They were like, make more of these in the world, explore it more. They had an Animatrix animated kind of DVD, all these mini anthology stories, and then they made the Matrix Reloaded and what's the third one? Revolutions. Yeah.
sorry.
They filmed them both at the same time. It was like a giant, big production. They kind of bit off more than they could chew. Those movies didn't live up to it, but they still have cool moments and stuff. They still continued the story. They still continued pushing the visual effects and the crazy stuff that they could do. And they were landmark films in terms of what you could do in action movies in Hollywood. But then it's been 20 years. And they were doing this new one. Clearly, they got strong-armed into it, where they literally say have a character say in the new movie, Warner Brothers want to make another sequel to your video game called The Matrix.
So The Matrix is a video game
in this
new
yeah.
movie.
And then they say, they've told us they're going to do it with or without you as the original creator. Like, what would you rather do? You can say no and they'll just go and make it without you, or you can have some sort of ownership over it and at least steer it in the direction that you want. And, I mean, you can't watch this movie without assuming that is what happened in real life. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fairly well documented that that's genuinely what happened. And I mean, half all those board scenes, we're skipping into the movie a little bit, where they're just talking about, like, people want this mind fuck. All these people just talking like
they
fucking
they go
idiots.
out of their way to kind of show what execs and the popular culture believe the Matrix to be, and they're kind of parodying it, and they're having these kind of like douchey frat boy video game designers be like, the Matrix is all about bullet time. It's all about sick action and long coats and sunglasses and guns, and they're just kind of deconstructing what the Matrix became once it got out of their control, once the movies became, like, obviously parodied everywhere in popular culture and just became these giant franchise.
Yeah, and to sort of spoil the end of all of the Matrix movies, but Trinity dies, and so does Neo. He loses both of his eyes, and he sacrifices. He's the Jesus against the machines.
Yeah, I watched the original 3 in the lead up to this just to remind me what happened, and I'd totally forgotten, or maybe I'd never even seen it, that Neo spends half of the third movie blinded
Completely, yeah,
and just using like
fire vision,
yeah.
That as
He
well.
can see like the electricity of everyone, and he just like stumbles around doing
Tell me,
stuff with
Mr.
like
Anderson,
his eyes bleeding the whole time.
What good are a pair of binoculars if you cannot see?
So this new movie, Resurrections, is it's kind of semi-reboot, semi-sequel,
Semi-trailer.
semi-trailer.
I got a semi just thinking about it.
And it's semi-good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this more than 2 and 3. I don't really like those films very much. The first one is just a bona fide classic. It's so good for so many reasons.
Soundtrack.
It just kicks buttocks. But I don't know. So this one starts off. How does the film actually start off? I can't remember. I watched it, 5 hours ago, and I can't remember.
We start off in the first Matrix.
Yes, it's new characters.
Oh, that's right.
Watching the original opening scene of the first Matrix.
That's right.
But with different people in it, and they're like commenting on it, and they're like, "Hey, isn't that person a bit different from?"
That's not the real Trinity or whatever.
Things are different, but we know this scene, and you're like, okay. That's I was worried at that point of the movie.
I would say that
okay.
the first hour, because it's like a 2.5 hour movie, I'd say first hour and 15 minutes is essentially like it's kind of a remake of the Matrix in a lot of ways, except that it doesn't create intrigue for obvious reasons, because most people are coming into this, I would think, with some kind of understanding of what the Matrix is. But for new viewers, like people who haven't seen the first Matrix or any of the first 3 Matrixes, I would think that they wouldn't have enough context to really understand from the get-go. Maybe I'm underestimating people, but it doesn't. What was so awesome about the first Matrix was this slow reveal of him being stuck in a computer program, essentially, and realizing that consciousness and life is actually just a simulation, and then he slowly wakes up and comes out of it. And this exact same thing, they find Neo, or they find Neil, or what's his name, Tom Anderson. They find Tom Anderson. They need to pull him out of the Matrix to save them again. But Tom Anderson in the real world doesn't know anything of the Matrix. He believes in, the lie that is being sold in being in this quote unquote real world. And so it's the same thing. Like they reach out to him, they try and pull him out, they get him out. He has this realization, oh my God, everything that I thought was real is not real. But then, all of that is kind of the same, and they even throw him into a dojo with Morpheus again. It's kind of not beat for beat, but it's more or less the same story. But the problem is, again, if you were a new viewer who didn't really know the Matrix coming to it, you're seeing a much lamer, less slow burn version of the Matrix.
That's also incredibly self-referential to itself and the original Matrix. They literally watch scenes from the original Matrix projected on walls over and over again. The original Matrix exists in the canon of this as a video game. So I guess what happens is at the end of Revolutions, Neo sacrifices himself. They kind of escape the Matrix. They beat the machines or whatever.
The assumption, I think, is at the end of the third one that the war between humans and machines is won by the humans, and now the humans can. I can't remember, to be honest, but I believe that humans can now live on the planet Earth again without all these horrible machines enslaving them and using them as batteries to power themselves.
And then this technically is set, like 50 years later or something, because they have
60 years later.
They have Jada Pinkett Smith's character from the second and third movies, and she's in it, and she's an old lady now, and she's like, yeah, no, we lived out here for a while, and I think she even says that, like, some of the robots had a war against each other, and now some of them are our friends, and they've got, like, little sentinels, like, I don't know, bringing them food and stuff. They're hanging out.
Yeah,
but
they're growing crops now.
And some of these ideas are kind of okay. I don't mind the idea that, like, after the big event, like, actually things didn't go back to, humans run the world. It's sort of, like, it pushed some kind of progress where, now there are different factions, and these machines are bad machines, whereas this breed of machine are now on the human side and stuff, and it's sort of the teams have changed a little bit, and the world has moved on in those 60 years. That stuff I found kind of an interesting novel idea, but
there's
so much.
yeah.
But yeah, and it's sort of like, so yeah, because and what was the point in the machines in all this time having the Matrix? It's just so that they could live out what they see as utopia, which is a fucking dark sky with just machines
destroyed
that can do.
cities.
What do they do for fun? Like,
I think that
what are they living for?
They've discovered some kind of power source that humans weren't aware of, but then, I mean, we'll get there with Neo and Trinity and how they have some kind of different power source that is integral to the cast, but not the cast, the story, whatever. But the cast is the interesting thing, because they, at the beginning, they're like, telling the same stories with new faces. They're really ham-fisted, this one. They were like, a guy is standing at the window and he's like, Mr. Anderson, and they cut to Hugo Weaving, and they're like, oh, so this guy's Mr. Smith, and you're like, oh, maybe it was a bait and switch, and no, that's what he is.
Yeah, but doesn't it also start with the guy who is Morpheus was like one of the agents at the beginning in the Matrix as well?
Right, yeah.
This is where it starts confusing, because our main character for the beginning, Bugs, as in Bugs Bunny, because
he chased the White Rabbit down the road.
Yeah. Oh, quick tangent. The original White Rabbit was played by Ada Nicodemo.
Home and Away woman.
Yeah.
Or Heartbreak High.
And yeah, she
I made Alex watch it, and she was like, "That's home. She's Home and Away. I've seen her in Home and Away." And I'm like, "Yeah, they filmed it in Sydney. Like, they have scenes that are just in like famous Sydney streets and stuff."
But so Bugs is caught up in some scenes from the Matrix 1, and Morpheus, with all the other agents, you don't know it's Morpheus, he spots her. They're all like chasing her down, and they both meet up in Thomas Anderson's apartment, Keanu Reeves' character, and he reveals that he is some kind of amalgam of Morpheus and Mr. Smith. So Neo somehow created him in this Matrix, or in his game. I don't fucking know.
I didn't totally follow why Morpheus was now a computer program. Was it his consciousness ended up getting uploaded into a computer program?
Because that's the thing. It's not him. It's only the him that we experienced in other movies, because he lives his full life. There's a statue to him where he was the fucking king of Zion or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I have an open question. Who programmed the new Morpheus? Why, and where did he come from? And
he says that he came from Keanu.
Okay.
Neo.
Oh, no, that's right. He's in the game. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
He's a memory of Morpheus that Neo created in his game.
He's the two things that caused Neo the most growth, the Mr. Smith and Morpheus. So So
cool.
That's why he looks different.
It's all okay.
Yeah, when I went into it thinking this is going to be like horrible, but then all of my worries they're literally talking about in the movie.
Yeah, and it feels sort of like that's by design, right? It feels like they're like, right, well, we kind of have to somehow please the people.
And it's like we
understand
know
this crap.
what people expect from reboots, remakes, late sequels, and we're just kind of going to touch on everything for you. And that's what, I mean...
And it smacked a bit of Space Jam 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it was very similar in a lot of ways there. It was like... But, I don't know. Like, is there any other way that they could have done this?
No, I think they literally made it's like a critic-proof movie. It's
right.
Like
it's
they introduced
self-effacing.
enough new elements. They were self-aware of what they were doing. They gave you nostalgia while pointing out that it's literally just like, I think when they're trying to get Neo out, they're like, here's a bit of nostalgia for you, and they're playing the fucking original Matrix.
And when we first meet Thomas Anderson in this film, he's got like a MIDI version of Spybreak playing on his computer. Did you notice that? No. He's sitting in. So we're introduced to Thomas Anderson. It's Keanu Reeves
He's
again.
in his office or something.
In his big office in like a large city in a skyscraper. And he's sitting in front of many computer monitors, and we quickly discover that he's like the designer of a very influential game called The Matrix, which essentially we start to discover
and
is
it won Game of the Year in 1999 or something.
Yeah.
There's like trophies on the wall. And
we discover that he's essentially retold this story that's really important to him, that's actually sitting in his subconscious because he actually experienced it in the first Matrix movie. And he's retold it through a computer game, and it's the biggest computer game in the whole world, and it's such a big deal. And he's sitting at his desk doing something, programming or something, and Spybreak is playing, like a MIDI version of Spybreak is playing on his computer. And it's just stuff like that that's like, I don't know, I guess I didn't hate it, but I think it's just because I really, really, really love that first film that like, those kind of things always come off as so fucking shit. But I kind of, like, I think my tolerance was set a little... higher for this for some reason.
I enjoyed the first probably 45 minutes.
Me too.
And I was like,
once you leave the Matrix, it actually kind of starts dragging a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Once you
But that's what I hate about the second two films, is that it's like,
I didn't
I
think
love
much of
the
it.
Matrix.
Is
like
them just
being
in
the
a
Matrix.
cave
Who gives a shit?
and talking about
And
how
then it
they're
becomes
gonna
like a
fight and
fantasy
stuff.
film, and then suddenly you're like Star Wars, and you're flying around and going to, I don't know, it's just shit.
I also realized that the kind of the second half of this movie is almost like a heist movie. They're trying to get Trinity out and save her, and she turns
they
out
do
to
the Ocean's 11 thing, where they're like,
except one guy can turn into like, what do you call those when you toss a squidgy or something? What's it?
I'm thinking of something
A slinky.
else.
Is it?
A
He
slinky?
turns into like a slinky, right?
What?
He's like ball bearing. He can turn
I'm
himself into ball
thinking
bearing.
of those things that you push your hand into.
Oh,
like
yeah.
those
Oh,
pin
yeah,
things.
Yeah,
I was
those pin
thinking-
things. Yeah, that's what he looks like.
Talking about Jax when you...
No,
when you
I was
play
thinking
Jax?
Slinky
You
because
talking about skipping rope?
he's all metal
about
and he can like
Tarzan?
move through things
Yeah.
and stuff, and they do
Like
this.
something out of a Marvel film.
Yeah. But I didn't even think I didn't think that effect looked that good. There were a couple of times like a CGI creature would show up, and I'm like, it doesn't look that good. And the two things that probably disappointed me the most were like, the action wasn't groundbreaking.
No.
I was really waiting to be like, what can they do now? 20 years on. Like, they invented bullet time for this movie or whatever. They like, shot him in a green room with 300 cameras around him and all this stuff. And it's like, even the second and third ones, they pushed the limits of what you could do so much. And I was like, oh, we're 20 years into the future of CGI. What else can they do? They did some cool stuff, but I'm like, nothing that really blew my mind. Nothing that really was...
Not really a lot of good martial arts scenes.
No.
All the actual fight scenes, very quick cuts of just blurry
and shaky
shit.
camera.
Yeah, just handheld. And you know that thing that they do in these kind of wire fu movies where like someone gets punched and they go flying like 20 meters back, which isn't conducive with the punch that they took.
Yeah.
It's like a punch to the gut. Oh shit, I've gone flying across the room.
That happens in the earlier Matrix films, but it's so much more effective for some reason. It's sort of like, I don't know, I always read it as, God, I'm being so earnest. I always read it as like the punch comes in and there's so much power, like in a programming or like computer machine sense that like
video
it's
game
sort of,
physics.
Yeah, it's this crazy buildup of like energy that explodes him backwards tenfold. Whereas in this movie, it didn't look like that. It was just kind of like a bit looked wrong.
Yeah, this is what happens. These are the rules that we've pre-established.
yeah.
This is what happens.
So they don't give Keanu Reeves any guns, which you can kind of say makes sense because he's got all these extra powers, which are almost like Kamehameha. Like
He's also
he can block things.
Jesus.
He can just shoot energy out of his hands,
Pulling
and
out
stuff.
Hadoukens.
Yeah, but literally, and then you're like the fighting and stuff wasn't. There were almost no parts, or definitely no parts that I was like jaw dropping. That this is amazing. I've never seen this before. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I've seen this kind of stuff before. And then the movie is centered around a love story between Neo and Trinity, and them like reconnecting and their bond and the power that they have together and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sure that Lana Wachowski thinks that about the original trilogy as well. But I also know that if anyone said, hey, have you seen The Matrix? No, I haven't. Or what's it about? No one would be like, it's a love story trilogy of the relationship between these two people.
I would say it's a love story.
Not the first one though.
It is about this woman who helps him like wake up to what the world is. You know, she helps him grow as a person, and they form a bond based on that. They have a lot of like tender scenes together, and she helps him sort of transition into this new phase of his life. And you know, like, she was hot and wearing leather and shit. I was in love.
That is a love story.
Yeah.
Hayden loved it.
So to recap, the opening, like the first act, is, I think, like, and I think part of the reason I enjoyed it so much is that, like, it was just sort of like,
shot for shot.
Here, have the Matrix, but we've got nicer cameras, and we're going to do it in a slightly different way. And you already know the story. And it's like, I love this story. I love this idea.
And there's a couple of other characters watching it and being like, we know it.
Yeah, this is good. I can see why this was such a critically acclaimed film.
I mean, it's full of fucking meta stuff. You know, characters.
That's what you guys were talking about before. Is that he's made this game, and now, like, the bigwigs at the developer software developing company is like, all right, we're rebooting your game, even though you said you never would. And then that's what you were talking about before. You see like a montage of boardrooms of people being like,
how do we remake this, but we keep it cool?
That's right. It's got to be smart, but people like The Matrix because it's connects with like philosophy, and then the other guy's like, nah, bullet time, and like you were saying before.
Well, and then you've got the people from not Zion, they're in IO now, outside the Matrix.
Was that an in-out joke, like an I/O?
I think it's a binary joke because the game he's working on is binary. And then them going back to simple structures is what Jada Pinkett Smith wants. IO, fucking binary.
Also, I'm pretty sure Io is the name of a moon either around Jupiter or Saturn as well, which always throws me.
That makes sense. But when they're back with Neo and they've got him in the Matrix and they're like, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel, bringing Neo back after all this time. But, I mean, with the hair and the beard, I'm really feeling it. And I'm like, yeah, they're really going ham on every possible thing that people were talking about the Matrix. And then just weird shit, which I want to just quickly talk about the bird. The bird? You're both looking at me like you don't remember the bird. But the bird...
Never heard of that creature in my life.
Yeah, birds aren't real. That's actually...
what bird? Get to the bird point.
You don't... Okay.
I don't remember the bird. You're talking about the fucking weird blue thing.
No, it's a big weird
I thought it was
bird
like a manta ray.
But it's got a beak and little bird eyes.
All right. If you say so.
But I laughed so hard when it came out. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It sucked.
Some kind of Birdman.
And you've got Neo Patrick Harris playing Neil's psychiatrist, who also turns out to be the guy who recreated Neo's body after he dies in Revolutions.
I kind of I liked Neil Patrick Harris.
I thought he was okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was a better fit for the villain than Jonathan Groff, who was the Agent Smith.
I thought he was okay too.
Groff. I thought he was really good.
Johnny Groff.
I was like, oh, is this what we're getting? And I was like, no, I like this Neil Patrick Harris villain, and even at the end, he's talking about, and like, you think people want this sentimentality, but I know what they want. They want the same shit. They want. It's all coming up, Matrix.
Yeah.
Every fucking line.
So eventually, like, these guys, this new cast of, like, guys out on a ship in the real world, finally are, like, they're trying to wake Neo up and be like, come out of the Matrix. We need you in the real world. They eventually do it through a series of, like, fight sequences and escaping agents, and they get him out. He takes the red pill. Again, kind of a clever...
switch it up or something? Do they, like, now it's not a pill, it's a... Do they do something weird with it?
No,
It's
he
just
just
that
didn't
he's
want to
on-
take it the
he's-
first time because, you know, he's been taking all these blue
Oh,
pills
that's
for
right.
his psychosis.
That's right, yeah.
Because he survived a suicide attempt, but...
Neil Patrick Harris prescribes him
That's
blue
right.
pills, like,
Yeah.
take one of these
Take
every
one
day.
every day. And then eventually he stops taking them. He starts to sort of see weird things.
He
and
sees Trinity. He runs into her, and then she has a different name, and she's got a husband called Chad.
Yeah,
and they have this
handsome
like,
Chad.
Have we ever met each other before? Because we just touched hands, and I felt something powerful. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Chad shows up and he's like, we gotta get out of here. You know who Chad is, though?
No.
The
Yes,
actor?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're never going to find out.
Well,
Alright,
we
cool.
get to know
We
it.
know.
It's
Oh,
so
damn.
good.
So
It's so
excited.
good. And
Maybe
we're
I'll
never
Google
telling
it.
you
Damn.
shit.
Oh,
So-
man.
And I'll tell you, because a lot of people are like, oh, I get it. They called him Chad. But guess what? In
What?
real life, his name is Chad.
Whoa.
But Chad who, you may ask?
Kroger?
Whoa, that would be...
That's a theory.
Man.
A fan
That is-
theory.
That is how you remind me.
Oh, well, I really am. Man, remember the Nickelback song they did for Spider-Man?
Sorry, did you add 2 G's into the middle of that name?
Anyway, so
I think
the
you did.
Chad was actually the stuntman for Keanu Reeves on the original Matrix films.
Yeah, and what did he go on to do, Mitch? What's he most famous for now? Directing John Wick.
And he's the director of John Wick.
Yeah. So he played Keanu Reeves' stunt double in The Matrix, and now he played Keanu Reeves' love triangle guy called Chad. But he also directed Keanu Reeves in John Wick.
Right. Very, very... It's a bit of an Easter egg, I
Sweet.
think they call them. Let's get through this movie. What else happens? Then the...
All right, well,
Neo in the real world is like, all right, I have to go back into the Matrix and get Trinity out of there. And they're like, what? Why? Can you help us again? Because the machines are still running everything and it's shit.
Yeah.
And then Jada Pinkett Smith is like, no, it's not that shit. We've got plants again, and some of the robots are our friends. So let's just chill. It's
look at
fine.
him. He's smiling.
Don't rock
do
the
they
boat.
literally say like we've just managed to get like a green plant growing down here or something?
Look, we have a tomato.
Yeah.
All right.
Eat this
And they're like
strawberry.
looking at the stalk and the leaves, and they're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's taken 60 years before we could eat a fresh tomato.
Well, it's because the robots are able to get the data from the Matrix to recreate the vegetables and crops in the real world.
And
Which
so suddenly,
that's
that's a
pretty
bit
cool.
questionable because they're eating food that was generated off human. You know, all those people in the fields in the human farms that are. You know what I mean?
I've heard of genetically modified fruits and vegetables, but digitally created fruit and vegetables that are then 3D printed into real life? I don't know.
I just want to know if they're fungible or not.
Yeah.
But what is the qualification here? Why is Neo like, nah, we got to get her back because then I'll be able to do it.
He saw Trinity in the pod and he's like, we can't leave her.
Yeah.
And then
I was going to say he saw her death, but no, that's the entire second movie over and over again. He sees her
Oh, that's
falling
right.
out the window and being
Yeah.
shot. Does that happen in
The
this?
movie sucked. No, but they somehow
What do you
somehow
mean?
figure out
It doesn't suck. Neo fights 2 albino
That's
dreadlocked
true. Yes,
twins
the Wachowski
That's
brothers.
sick.
on a car or in a. Is it Morpheus fights him on top of a truck? Moving on a highway.
Yeah, on the Sydney. What is that highway?
Well, then they invented it they built it in America.
Right,
They didn't
right.
do that in Australia.
It's
but
still there, isn't it?
I think maybe other places have used it and stuff. Yeah, like they just went to like Arizona and they just built like
A massive-
10 miles of highway so they could shoot over and over again on it. It's a pretty
Pretty
good
cool,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, their idea is there's a lot of scrutiny on this ragtag crew. You got Bugs and Neo and the others, And
I want to say that the other woman I found really attractive. That's
the other woman,
not Bugs, but the other woman.
the one who was a program.
No, she was on the.
Was it the one who had an infinity symbol in her hair?
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was really doing it for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was bringing the
her
alternative
face.
girl vibe from the original Matrix. She was
When
wearing
you
that
do
on.
watch that original one and Home and Away lady shows up and she's got the tattoo on her neck and stuff.
I was in love.
Something about the way that those like underground raving, pill popping, like floppy disk trading illegal, like there's something about that where you're like, was that what it was like in the 90s?
so
where
sick.
like, man, I got this pirated game on this floppy disk,
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah.
Let's take pingers and listen to Eiffel 99 or whatever.
Eiffel
that- 65.
No, it was,
and hack and code.
God,
and
I love that first movie, man. What
Let's
a
have a
movie.
LAN party and just play Quake all night and stuff.
We haven't spoken much about how this movie looks, and it does look really nice, but
It looks pretty good.
Isn't like it's not the Matrix.
It's not mind blowing.
It
not
has
what
none of
the
the green
first
tint
made-
either.
Every
No,
time they
right.
cut to a scene of the original
Yeah,
Matrix, you notice
yeah,
how
yeah.
green
How
it
green
is,
it
and you
is.
see the film grain. And
Yeah.
You're like, oh, sick, and it comes back, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
okay,
It does
sharp.
look quite nice, this film, but
Yeah.
it's still
Oh, yeah.
just not. It's not the Matrix. It's not.
Well, because the
consistent.
Matrix is some weird future where they were like, we need to simulate the 90s for people because that's what they want. And now they're like, yeah, no,
And in
let's
the-
take them forward 20 years.
Whenever they're in the Matrix in the first movies, that's when it's green. When they go out to the ship and stuff, when they
It's blue.
disconnect, it's just kind of normal. But I guess the idea is that like the code is the green lines, right? So if you're looking in the simulation, that's what you're seeing, and that's why everything's green.
And they did a good job of creating a world that you could sort of see the edges of, like in this new one, when you're in the Matrix, it's sort of hyper realistic, or it's like a little bit too glossy, and the sky in the background is like, and that might just be because they used CGI for a bunch of shit and it looked unnatural to me, but like they did sort of create this world that isn't real or genuine looking. But that's what I loved about I'm just going to keep saying this. The first one is like, it was a real city street. It's just, it was greener than usual. And anyway, who gives a shit?
They also changed it from in the old one to leave the Matrix. You would make a payphone call.
That's right.
And any
kind
someone
of
would
phone.
call it, and you would have to like go through the wires.
Because it was the day, it was the back in the day of like dial-up.
internet.
Right.
And in this one, they're just like
It's
you go
doors
through a
and
mirror.
mirrors.
Yeah. I'm like, make it an iPhone or
Yeah,
something,
make it
right?
something
Like,
that's technologically connected to the outside world.
Let's talk about the upgrades of the Matrix then.
Higher frames per second.
Higher frames per second. There is now something
Ray tracing?
where they've
Refresh rate.
they've populated the population with NPCs essentially.
Yeah.
You know, and they call them bots.
NPCs, like the beat making machines.
Yeah. That's,
Is that what they're
that's
called?
No, do you know? I don't know. You're being silly. You're being silly, right? An NPC?
Yeah, but is the like what
Yes,
Dre
that is
used
what
to
it,
make?
yes,
That was
it's
an NPC,
yeah,
right?
MIDI
Yeah.
production center.
Yeah.
Or
But you're talking about non-playable characters.
Yeah, so they can.
Was this term always big? Because I feel like I started hearing this like a year ago, and now it's on the internet all the time. People use it to like insult each other in forums
Right.
and stuff.
Well, yeah,
It's been around for a long time. Yeah.
It's because in video games you talk to like a side character who's like, "Oh, my chickens have gone lost. Do
Yes.
you want to fetch them for me and get some coins?" And they're just like all weird. That's what an NPC
Yes.
is, right?
Yeah, it's a non-playable character. It's just someone, a character in the game. So the Matrix now has tons of these everywhere that they can activate immediately, and then
Turn
they
them
just,
into agents.
They just they turn them into agents or just bombs.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
That was probably the coolest scene.
That
They
was one of
didn't
the coolest
pull
ones.
it off enough. Like I agree
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
idea was sick.
The one shot where they've got the guy going, just like sitting
The
with
first
this
guy
girl,
who's like watching TV with
Yeah,
his
yeah,
wife
yeah.
or something.
runs out,
Jumps
out the
window.
window, and they follow him as
Head
he
first,
hits the car, and it follows that. They blew
Yeah.
a lot of budget on that, I think, because this is the
So
same.
for people that haven't seen it though, Neo and Trinity are driving through the streets. Are they on motorcycles or something?
They're
Or are they
on
in
a
a car?
motorcycle.
Yeah.
She's in a motor. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're towards the end of the movie at this point. But yeah.
They're swerving through the streets at night, and then they activate the NPCs to basically become like head-first diving kamikaze bombs, jumping out of skyscrapers and trying to just like stop them from driving their motorcycle. And so person after person just starts jumping in this sea of just people like crashing headfirst into the road.
That was the one time I thought like, oh, this is the bullet time of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
But
is
it
something I
wasn't-
haven't seen. Yeah.
It didn't quite look good enough to me. I don't know what I wanted. I couldn't have made it any better. I mean, I'll give it a shot, but no, but like I wanted 9/11 vibes, people. I wanted
Oh,
the terror. I wanted the full on, like,
Oh, yeah.
these people are jumping out of buildings against
Yeah.
their will and splatting.
Yeah, we need to
I
have
really
more
wanted-
people being aware, like the real
Oh,
people
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Matrix
being aware
like,
that they're being forced into
Oh,
it physically.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah, that would
But
that'd be sick.
that was yeah.
Like
I mean,
they're
that would add
screaming on
another-
the way down.
That was
half an hour
annoying.
to the
It's
movie.
just all this crazy shit happening. I think with the other movies, when you've got that massive highway scene and stuff like this, or the scene where he's spinning around the pole, like you were saying earlier, in like a courtyard,
Yeah.
like those
It's
always
like a basketball
felt,
court or something, isn't it? Yeah.
they always felt separated from what was happening in the Matrix, almost as if, like, if a random Joe in the Matrix walked past it, it would be invisible to that person. Whereas driving through a city street and everyone's jumping out of windows and there's explosions everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt,
What do the other
You want the gravity of
NPCs
that.
like believe about what's
What's
happening in their
happening?
reality? Are they like, why are people mass committing suicide
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Or are they just like,
well, because there's
that's
tons of
blind
real
to
people.
me?
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. I found that with the other films, I never sort of had those kind of thoughts, and that was an annoying thought to have. God, I'm fucking such a nerd with this shit.
No, it's
like,
fair because they made a
I
Matrix
care
movie.
about a movie for once.
Yeah.
And I'm
You know,
disappointed in things.
The scene towards the end where Neo and Trinity finally get together and they jump off a building and they kind of like float in the air. Except he doesn't get his flying powers back, but she does, and she's hanging there. I was like, that looks real cool. And then I saw behind the scenes, and like they legit bungee jumped off buildings for that. And I'm like, that you
Yeah,
can kind of tell
you can
that it's
tell.
not just like
That looks
like in a
good.
Marvel movie, they'll do a green screen jump off a thing, and you're like, yeah, it doesn't look real. But this is like they went there at sunset. They have all these drone cameras or whatever, and they're like literally real people jumping off bungees. And I'm pretty sure it was Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves doing it for real
yeah.
as well. And then they paint out the bungee straps and stuff.
Well, that's the interesting thing about this movie. It has pretty much the same budget as the first Matrix. Yeah, so it's really where they decided to spend it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it probably was doing those recreation scenes, like in the beginning, like getting a warehouse to being like, okay, we got to get it to look like this, rather than when they probably did it the first time. They were like, yeah, just fucking chuck that here, chuck that there, go.
All of that shit looked so good in the first one, though. All the decaying walls and just the environments.
Do you think that maybe Lana Wachowski, you know, is older and is more tired and is just like, I just don't really enjoy seeing people like punch each other, but I know I have to put it into this movie. So I'm going to have action scenes, but I just don't have the passion for like inventing new ways of doing it.
What was the last
I don't know.
Wachowski movie?
Jupiter Ascending, and then
fuck.
did they do one? They might
Before
have done
that
one since,
would've-
but they did Sense8 for a few seasons on Netflix as well.
No, I never watched that.
Yeah. I also noticed that this movie was co-written with David Mitchell and not you're a fucking idiot, Jeremy. Not that English David Mitchell from Peep Show, but the David Mitchell that wrote the Cloud Atlas book, and then I think also co-wrote the movie with them. Which I really enjoyed Cloud Atlas when I saw it in cinemas in like 2013, and I've had it in my I want to watch this again list for a long time, but I saw it with Alex and she didn't like it, and I'm like, well, mate, because I did like it. It was long and it was convoluted and weird, and I just still the earnestness of how they tell the stories. I was like, yeah, I was into it. Much better than Speed Racer and Jupiter Ascending.
Take that back.
We should do Jupiter Ascending for this.
Jupiter Ascending
podcast.
is this show, but Speed Racer, that's like cream of the crop.
Really?
Oh, the best.
It's like a sugar
the
rush. It's like a
best.
candy high the whole time. It's
You've
like
never seen a movie this
Yeah.
densely packed with like
light
color.
and color.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because
Cool.
it's based on like a 60s anime.
yeah.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Now-
fucking love that movie.
But to be fair, I found that
That's for
movie
kids.
is super weird. The tone is real
Super
weird.
weird.
The plot is, it's like hard to even get your head around, but you're watching it and you're like, I've never seen this before.
Never.
You're totally like, they're inventing new ways of doing shit.
And the car sequences are insane. That's why
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a
and
Technicolor whirlwind.
it's really a cartoon that they've managed to make in this like elevated way. And there was parts of this movie that were elevated. Back to the Matrix. You know, when I first saw like Christina Ricci, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going in like a goofier direction. But
Yeah,
then
it felt
they didn't
almost
quite
like,
do that.
you know, like some of these Dr. Seuss live action movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like it had a little bit of that to it.
Yeah, you're talking Cat in the Hat, aren't you?
I am talking Cat in the Hat.
I want to talk about Cat in the Hat briefly because I was listening to this podcast with the director of Men in Black.
Wait, you listen to other podcasts?
Yeah, it's how I get all my games for this one. This guy Barry Sonnenfeld, and I just find him really entertaining to talk to listen to because I've heard him and he's just like a really good storyteller. And he has a book that I might buy as well. Anyway, his production designer for like all his movies was this guy called Bo Welch, and Bo Welch is married to Catherine O'Hara from Home Alone and from Schitt's Creek and I don't know.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. Bo Welch did Beetlejuice's. He does a lot of Tim Burton production design.
So good.
Anyway, so he's a huge production designer. He did Beetlejuice. He did Batman, like Tim Burton's Batman, and all these Barry Sonnenfeld movies. So Men in Black, all the production design. But he got to direct his own movie, and the one movie he's directed was Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
And so the production design in Cat in the Hat is crazy, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
But I think him and Mike Myers like really clashed on that movie.
Oh, okay.
And he hates how it came out, hated making it, hasn't directed a movie since, but he still does production design. He's an Oscar-winning production designer for a few people. And Barry Sonnenfeld also directed a whole bunch of Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events on Netflix. So that again has a whole crazy production design and stuff like that. Anyway, I just found that interesting because, yeah, I didn't know he was married to Catherine O'Hara. They met on Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow.
Imagine like the production designer hooking up with the lead actress.
Well, exactly, because I mean, her husband in that movie was a literal pedophile. So, I mean, this guy must have looked great in comparison.
It's just so funny about like the guy who's like, I don't know, building the walls behind you,
Yeah.
and you're just like hooking up.
Who's
Yeah.
behind those walls?
Yeah.
You can put a house up real quick.
Yeah.
I bet.
Anyway, sorry, where were we? Sorry for the diversion.
So eventually they decide, right, let's do it. Let's go get Trinity. We also realize when Neo comes out of the Matrix again in this film, he's in his own very special pod, which is directly adjacent to Trinity's pod, where she's in suspended animation, and it has these two pods have the majesty of being like upheld amongst many other pods, and like sort of sitting out in the middle of this big arena style, almost like these two bodies are very important. And we soon discover that, and this is where maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but the idea is we discover that is it the not Smith, but the
So Neil Patrick Harris, the psychiatrist. He
is he like an
came up with the
architect?
idea.
Sort
he
of.
like
What was
help
his? He
build-
had a name
He's like
though,
the
didn't
new.
he? What was his name?
He had something. I don't know. Blue pill glasses.
But
We'll call him Bloopy.
The
he
analyst.
The analyst.
The
He's
analyst.
analyst.
Okay.
He discovered that by keeping both of them in the Matrix,
Well, so
it
he
made the Matrix power faster.
Yeah, it like kept
It upped the CPU.
equilibrium or something.
they brought him back, and for years it did nothing, and it was just like torturing this guy, and he was giving them nothing and using his powers against them. But as soon as they brought Trinity back, you know, he had something that he cared about.
As in,
But then-
back from the dead, you mean? Because they
Back
both
from the
died
dead.
at
They
the end of
both
the film.
died. They rebuild their they find their corpses and they rebuild
Reprogram
them with
them.
machines,
Yeah.
which looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that
I
was
like
pretty
that scene.
cool. Where his face was being like,
Yeah, they
put
bring
over.
back his eyes and
Yeah.
like fuck yeah.
and Neil Patrick Harris is like, I had to convince the higher ups who
Yeah,
run the Matrix to let me rebuild Neo in the Matrix.
Because the machines have essentially, like, amongst themselves formed some sort of a society with money.
yeah.
They're like,
That's
it's so
right.
expensive.
What are
Yeah.
these? It just keeps coming back to what the fuck are these dudes doing all day? They've got this fantastic like power station run off human biology. So what? Like, do they have big screen TVs that they're powering? What are they doing? To what end?
Machine.
Well, I'll never understand because I'm not a machine. They're just hanging out like coding all day.
Well,
Sick code.
it's just this specific power that they get from it. Anyway, they get this amazing response, but if they get too close, then it shuts the whole matrix down. If they physically touch, it's like too powerful, especially in like outside the matrix. But in the matrix, they have to keep them close, but not too close. So they put them.
What? Sorry to.
No, you
but
go.
I'm trying to understand what benefit other than some sort of like. What benefit is it serving the Matrix? What is it making the food taste better in the Matrix? Is it making it provide more power to the robots in the real world? Like, what are they? Because the Matrix was still existing. It was working, just not well. But define well. What do they want the Matrix to do?
Well, I think
other than keep people asleep. They're still asleep. Who cares if it's fucking shit inside there?
It keeps people
Asleep.
docile, and it also is a source of power. So they want as many of them in there as possible. That's why they brought the idea of the original Matrix movies in there to introduce the concept of the Matrix to people, so they would be more subconsciously willing to stay in the Matrix. That's what I think.
Right. So you mean his video game exists in the world as a sort of like
It's like there's
to make
no
it
hope
seem
for
more
you.
fantastical.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the population.
Yeah, your life is awful, and then now there's this thing called the Matrix, but you still can't get out. And they're like, blue pills.
Okay, so it makes the Matrix better, which benefits the machines in some way.
Sure, yeah, and it's just more like
it's like green energy.
Loading. Yeah, it's green energy. So they get back into the Matrix. A fight scene ensues with what are the homeless guys? Sorry, I
the French dude and his gang in the
what the fuck is that?
That guy's been banished to like some sort of purgatory area for like old code that no one likes or something. He shows up.
Was he was in the second one?
He's in the second one, I think.
Glitch.
Yeah, maybe even the third one. He's like the mob boss in those ones.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now he's like a homeless dude that's just been like cast aside. I'm getting him mixed up, but the one that had the Bruce Spence guy from Australia, that must have been one of the older ones, because he's like a homeless guy in the train tracks, and he takes him to meet the French guy and stuff.
But yeah, there's like a shitty fight scene.
Yeah, it wasn't a great scene.
But it kind of goes into Mr. Smith and Thomas Anderson reconnecting, having a fight, talking about his motive, which I've already sort of forgotten. I think I was just confused as to what it was.
For the first 3/4 of the movie, they're adversaries as usual, but then at some point they have a conversation. He's like, I might even help you fight now. Like, yeah,
it's like, without you, I literally didn't have purpose, and I'm repurposed from the original Matrix, so it's just like,
It was a shame they didn't get any Hugo Weaving back in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, they had archival footage, but no.
Yeah. So. I wanted to see...
Keep doing him dirty like that.
His
they
old
did that to him in Infinity War.
Yeah. I think it was a money thing in that, but Hugo Weaving...
I think it was a makeup thing in that.
I just watched Hugo Weaving in this Australian drama series, and I was like, he just was playing like a fat dad whose wife dies, and he's just real sad. And it's like, no, I'm just like, I don't want to see that. I want to see him being an elf in Lord of the Rings. I want to see him being an agent in the Matrix, or I want to see him as the red-faced dude in the Marvel universe.
Okay, the Marvel universe. Yeah. Me and my wife watched a good movie from, I want to say, like maybe early 90s, maybe late 80s, probably early 90s. That's there's an Australian independent film where he's the lead, and maybe it's called The Interview, but it's just
The
him.
Interview.
It is, yeah, that's a good film. He gets pulled into like a police interrogation room, and the whole movie is him being interrogated, and you going like, oh, did he kill a kid or something? Like, I can't remember what the crime he was alleged to have done.
I love stuff like that.
But yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah. He's also great in the first episode of Rake.
Yes, he's a cannibal.
He's the
so
consensual cannibal.
Yeah,
so fucking good.
Yeah, in this show, Love Me, he's just like a sad. His hair is thinning. He's a little overweight. He's old, obviously, because it's been 20 years since The Matrix, and he's like, just grieving his wife's death and then dating again, and you like see him have multiple sex scenes, and I'm like, I don't need to see his like pasty white ass like thrusting another like 60-year-old lady on a table and stuff.
Whereas I do need to see that.
I'd like to see that.
Does he do that in The Interview? Because I want to see that.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to. So we have a fight scene where Neo bests Mr. Smith after he like throws him through like 10 walls and
Too many of those.
He gets his Hadoukens out and he's like, I gotta go find Trinity. So he goes to Trinity's motorcycle warehouse because she loves motorcycles still. They kept that part of her.
Also, it's important to note in the Matrix, her name is Tiffany now.
Oh yeah, Tiff. To fuck with her.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie,
is that a callback that I didn't understand?
I think
it's just her name's Trinity, name. And they gave her a
Tiffany.
Sounds like the same.
So it's Tiffany and Chad. And then at the end, when they finally confront the analyst Neil Patrick Harris, and he just kind of cowers away. They just like punch him in the gut and stuff, and they're just like "fuck you." And then she just smacks him at one point. It's like, "That's for calling me Tiffany."
That's right.
Well, there's a callback in that. You know, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I liked the scene when the Agent Smith and Neo were having their one-on-one fight. I liked the fact that they brought back the black and white checkered floor. Like the stuff like that was nice because it wasn't too on the nose, like calling the fucking cat deja vu. So
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
But so I'm still not 100% sure what the motivation for Agent Smith was. You think that it was just because having Neo in the Matrix gave him some fun, purpose, right? Okay.
So he gets to
I'll allow it.
The motorcycle place, and he's talking to Trinity and Neil Patrick Harris, who's been pretending at the beginning he's like, you're having an episode, and he's able to every crazy thing that is experienced, he's able to convince him it's psychosis.
It's his job to keep Neo placated and in the Matrix.
Yeah. And there was one cool thing that they did where early in the movie Bugs was just like a window washer or something, right? Mm-hmm. She had just a normal job, and she saw Neo standing on the edge of a building about to commit suicide, and they kind of locked eyes, and that broke something in her that I think that helped her get out of the Matrix, or give her some knowledge or something.
Because she sees him as the man so they've hidden him in another man's body. That's how he's stayed hidden in the Matrix for a long time. So to everyone, he normally doesn't look like Neo, but for that split second,
does he look like a real old dude or something?
He looks like a
Every now and then they show him in a mirror or something, and you're just like, wait, did I just see some old balding dude's face for a split second? But then
I don't know what a gaffer is, but it's the gaffer on set.
They do a cool thing where we see him about to commit suicide. We don't know why. And then when we finally, later on, an hour later, we reveal why he tried to commit suicide, it's real fucked up. He's on a rooftop party for his business, and they've just handed him a Designer of the Century award or something. He's won a really good, prestigious award.
I think it was the Game of the Year award, because I recognized that this is sad, but I think I recognized the thing he was holding as the Game of the Year award statue.
And then... Or is it a Lifetime Achievement Award or something?
I don't know.
Anyway, as soon as he gets the statue, he just looks at it. He feels so empty. In front of all these people on this roof party, he just stands on the edge of this skyscraper and he's about to kill himself in front of everyone.
But then Bugs reveals to him that he jumped but he didn't fall.
They don't show it. Yeah, that's right.
And she's like, oh, I'm in the fucking Matrix.
Yeah. Because you can't have Neo die.
Yeah,
Not that way, anyway. He has to sacrifice himself, Jesus style. Anyway, they beat up Neil Patrick Harris and the movie ends.
Well, there's that scene is also kind of okay where, it's just, it's a massive dump of, here's why you're in the Matrix. This is when Neil Patrick Harris's character explains to... explains it all to here's what happened, and it's done in this he rewinds Matrix time so that Neo has to re-enter the room to talk to Trinity again, the motorcycle area, and he's zooming around at super hyper fast speed, speaking to Neo, telling him, here's what you missed out in the last, here's what I did, here's what's happened.
And sometimes Neo's trying to punch him and it's in ultra slow motion and the fist is moving a centimeter every 10 seconds, and Neil Patrick Harris is just standing there pontificating, doing exposition.
It's a kind of good performance, I think.
That was a little bit so he's weaponizing bullet time. The idea is that bullet time from the first one, the stopping of it, is the way that he's going to beat Neo, and he does. But they don't use the bullet time smears
Yeah.
It's like a weird other thing where it's a little bit like glitchier, where I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I know what bullet time
Yeah.
looks like. You
Sometimes
use it earlier in the movie.
Sometimes the bullets have like too many waves of air around them as well. There's like,
I paused it and counted the waves. And,
Yeah.
it's too many.
it's just inaccurate. Yeah.
But then he Neil Patrick Harris's character like shoots Trinity, and the bullet's moving incredibly slowly towards her because it's ultra bullet time, and he's essentially saying, "Hey, stay the fuck in the Matrix because we need you there because as we decided earlier, it makes the Matrix gooder. Stay here, otherwise I'll fucking kill Trinity."
Yeah.
And then he picks up the bullet before it hits her head, and he's like, "All right, Neil Patrick Harris out."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's when they have to devise the heist. There's a whole Ocean's 11 thing
Yeah, that was a bit lame.
where they have to convince fucking Jada Pinkett Smith, and she's like,
Is it-
"What? The Matrix again?"
She's like, I've been living here growing
I've
tomatoes
got my
for
tomato.
60 years.
And
But
they
they do.
eventually agree that yes, and yeah, it's run out like a heist. They're like, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to get Mr. Pin Man to go in and go to Trinity, and then I'm going to hack into her mainframe and break her free of her embryonic pod, and it's going to be sick. And then you see it like as she's explaining it, like you do in Ocean's 11. It's like
Yeah.
telling how they're going to perform this heist. And so then they disconnect Trinity. Ostensibly disconnect her from the Matrix.
Well, because she
but
has to choose
she
to
has
leave first.
in the
Yeah.
Matrix. She has to make the choice. So meanwhile, while she's being sort of, I don't know, prepared for disconnection, Neo goes back into the Matrix, goes to meet Tiffany, i.e.
In a cafe
Trinity.
again? In the
yeah,
same
in
cafe?
what was it called?
Yeah, but there's cops everywhere.
The
Called
name-
Zion Cafe.
No, the
or
cafe
something.
was called.
It was like a cyber thing. Oh fuck!
It
What
was.
was it called? It's like latte was the pun.
Latte.
Oh fuck!
Oh, that's annoying me so much now because it was
Matrix
silly.
latte? Oh no.
Anyway, I think Declan's googling it, or
wanna
he's just
see
like, "When the
if-
fuck is this podcast?"
No, I want
going?
to see. I'll see. It just says at a local coffee shop in the wiki
Come
font,
on,
so it
what's
doesn't
it called?
give you the name.
You typed in coffee shop Matrix
No,
Resurrected.
I'll-
That's what
I'll
I'm
do it.
doing. I need to know. Anyway, he goes there and he says to Neil Patrick Harris, "How about if she decides to leave the Matrix, then you have to let us go." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, no worries."
This is good. Simulate.
That's right.
Simulate.
Why would you
That
ever
was
call your
sick.
coffee shop that?
Because everything has to be Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
because
in
everyone
the
in the
Matrix.
Matrix knows that they're in the Matrix, or they just love that video game so much.
Well, it would make sense if like this was set in like a Silicon Valley type place, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. It looks like, I don't know, it's another
Just-
massive city,
yeah,
like the first one set in. He convinces Trinity to leave. She's like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm staying here. I've got kids."
What's the scene like where she finally agrees? Is she like, I've felt it too. I know something's weird. I know
Well,
this is
no.
not who I am.
It changes as soon as like her kids show up and like, "Mom, we gotta get out of here," and then Chad comes
They're
in.
like,
he's
one of the other kids is in the
"Honey,
hospital.
we
We gotta go.
Yeah,
see
yeah.
him
He
or
go,
something."
"You were in a car accident. We have to leave," and it's
and she just doesn't believe it.
and she just sort of like looks back in the air.
She's like, I would never marry a dude named Chad.
You're
It's
like,
just not.
fuck this, and then his
Yeah.
eyes go all fucking body and
Yeah.
you know.
She changes her mind at the last minute. So she's going to the hospital. She turns around away and says, "Sorry, Tommy boy, but I got to go look after my kids and
Yeah.
stay in." And also, I'm not sure she's totally
she's like-
convinced she believes his story yet.
It's
And
like,
then,
don't fucking touch me. Like, kind of really,
Yeah.
really aggressive. I'm like, all right, let's go.
no, then she does that
Chad.
to her husband. She changes her mind. She's like, "You know what? Actually, no,
Yeah.
I'm getting out of this place."
Yeah.
And then Neil Patrick Harris is like, "No, I was never going to keep my word." And then there's
Yeah.
a big, like, he throws people out of buildings and tries to
Yeah.
stop them escaping. I
There's-
don't know where they
there's
think they're going.
cops everywhere. There's a big fight. They have to switch out Trinity's brain with Bugs' brain. So Bugs is fighting.
Yeah, explain
Yeah.
that to me. I didn't
Body.
understand that. So what happened?
So they needed another brain because of the connection. You can't just sever the connection. So they had to put Bugs in there so they could do. Oh no. Okay,
No.
I gave up.
But was
No.
it because they wouldn't be able to find a mirror fast enough, and Trinity couldn't take a pill fast enough to come out of the Matrix. They're like, the only way around this is to have another brain on hand. Is that
Yeah.
essentially the explanation?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay,
So we
that
get
works. I'm down with that.
So
You know what? I love this movie now.
Bugs is like, Neo, if you want to have sex, my body will just be there in the chair. If you want to, like, it's fine.
And now I'm kind of struggling, like, past the point where there's bots all over the city. There's, like, hordes of people in the street.
They get to the top of a skyscraper. They jump off. She learns to fly. She sings "Learn to Fly" by the Foo Fighters.
Someone give you the best, the best.
And now I'm looking to the sky to see me. And they fly, and Neo's like, fuck, I used to be able to do that, but I got no powers anymore. I can block stuff and I can shoot air, but I can't fly. He loved flying in those second and third movies. They would sometimes be like, who's doing his Superman thing? He'd just be flying through the sky.
And then he always would stop, look at the camera, wink and go, I love to fly, baby. Woo! And then he'd fly off again.
And he'd put on some headphones and play some Rage Against the Machine. Right. And then they go to Neil Patrick Harris's office and they have a final confrontation.
Blow it out.
Well, hang on, they escape the Matrix somehow, and that's what I do
remember they stay in it, don't they? Or
They do. No, they get out before they come back.
Right.
Yeah, they come back.
So after all the there's helicopters like blowing up the street. Yeah, there was a fairly big action scene. But then they finally get out. They kiss as real people, and then they go back in.
But then they kiss as digital people.
Just
and they're
before,
I know it's fake, but I don't care.
This is the good stuff.
Before they go back in, is there any kind of all right, cool? Like, does anyone in the real world sort of say, all right, cool, you got Trinity back. You're back. Now is the next step to now finally bring about this death of all the machines like you originally, are we going to go back to war and fight these? Or is it just like, no, smash cut to back in the Matrix confronting Neil Patrick Harris?
Well, so they go back in for retribution. Like Trinity is like, thanks for calling me Tiffany. And there's a callback to when, Tiffany is telling Chad about how she feels like she looks like the Trinity in the Matrix games. And he laughs and she's like, I wanted to kick his jaw clean off. And so when she gets to Neil Patrick Harris, she does kick his jaw clean off.
Yeah, and
but he has to snap and get back in.
And then they have just a small conversation where they're like, we're going to redesign the Matrix in our own image now.
Yeah.
We're in charge and we're going to hack this thing and we're going to give everyone a pony.
But why?
People, he's like, people want the slop. They don't want love. They don't want this. And they're like, well, we don't really give a fuck. And then they just go flying around and then
That's right. They're like, you can paint the sky with rainbows if you like.
Yeah,
All right,
and then they just say stuff like, we're going to make a universe where HBO Max is free to everybody.
That's right. And kids can stay up past their bedtime and they don't even get tired.
Yeah. And then Neo's like, and you can fuck kids and there's nothing. And they're like, whoa. He's like, yeah, there's no law and you can just...
And you can marry your cousin.
But yeah, and then so I guess they fly off into the sky, kind of mirroring the first one, but now they're entwined. Yeah. And then it smash cuts to
Wake Up, but by a female Rage Against the Machine brass cover band, which is most famously like a week before this movie came out. This band was in the news because the singer on stage pissed on a guy's face.
So I found this out like 2 hours ago. And I watched the video. I was like, oh my God,
I've seen that video. I did not know that.
You didn't know it?
I didn't know that. That's good.
I didn't know that was happening, but that story came out like a week before this movie came out, and I'd seen the video, and I knew that they were a Rage Against the Machine cover band. The credits hit. It says directed by Lana Wachowski, and it's like Wake Up, but it's like female singer, which could also sound like teenage boy Zach De La Rocca. He's got the aggression, but it's just that and then I'm like, that band was a Rage Against the Machine cover band. It's got to be them. I Google them. I'm like, yes.
Oh, really?
And it immediately takes me to, they had to do an apology and stuff about that because they were like, look, this isn't who we are. We weren't expecting this. We don't normally piss on people's faces in our shows. We're really sorry. And I'm just like, imagine being in that band and you're like, guys, next week the fucking Matrix drops and we have the final song. We have the credit song.
But
in a week, we will be known around the world as the new Matrix band, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it, and there's nothing that anyone can do to make us known for anything else in the meantime.
Except that you're a cover band with annoying as shit fucking horns. Like, it's so lame. Like, as soon as the horns started coming in, I'm like, what the fuck is this fucking Canberra, like Woden Youth Centre style bullshit? So crap.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of Lost Caps if they were fronted by the Bean.
Yeah.
Some deep cuts.
Yeah. That one's just for the people at this table.
So, yeah, exactly. So, like, I don't know, is there talk of them doing that's the movie ending?
Yeah, that's the end.
Is there talk of them doing another Matrix?
I don't think it
this?
did well enough to make money.
Okay.
I think they set it
well,
up in a way where it could, and they could continue, you know, in the same way the first one ends, where it doesn't feel like it's setting up a sequel, the first one, but you just expand the universe and give them a new problem. And in that one, they just go, in number 2, they basically just go, the Sentinels are digging into where we're hiding.
Yeah, that's right.
And
God,
they just
that
keep
movie
looking at their
sucked.
watch and being like, they're
They're
about 12 hours
coming.
away. Oh shit, they're about 6 hours away. If we do this, we can give ourselves another hour. Like, that's all that happens in the second one.
Well, I mean, I can't see how you would do it after that, because it was so self-referential. It felt like Lana Wachoswki was like, you want another Matrix?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to squeeze every bit of life out of it, every bit of character
I'm gonna
development
kill this
you can
fucking
have.
thing.
Imagine if they'd pushed it even further and it was like, the execs want you to do another Matrix, and just every scene with the execs, they're like, duh, we're so stupid. We want more Matrix.
The Matrix, it's just like there's like a really quick, like 3-minute intro scene, and then they sit someone down in front of them and then just play the original Matrix for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I just
I'd watch
imagine,
that.
the pitch sessions, they're like, so, you know, what are you guys looking for in the movie? And like, I just want the Matrix.
Yeah. Why don't you just do the Matrix again, but have like people watching it?
Yeah.
So it's like they're watching the Matrix.
I poo my pants again. I need to go bathroom.
Yeah.
Make Matrix while I go bathroom.
Yeah, it's like the most insulting, just Warner Brothers. You brought up Space Jam 2, which is really funny because it is so similar in
They're
many
really
ways.
similar.
Like, they're both Warner Brothers
It really
properties. Space Jam 2 literally has Matrix characters in it, along with all these other ones. It's like, let's remake it. Let's kind of make fun
It's
of
got
the
the
fact that
same
we're
Matrix
remaking it.
scene.
Even Space Jam 2 is meta in the sense that they're like, we're using an algorithm to pick everyone's favorite characters and put them in this movie. And they're
also
making fun of the execs
want
as
to
well.
make a computer game as well.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Do you think
Same
that's
movie.
just all of HBO Max's movies from now on? They're just like, what if we can just be like really scummy and put all the characters in the movie, but like we make jokes about it in all of them?
Yeah.
King Kong. Oh, I guess we wanted to use King Kong again.
Shit my
Wait,
pants again.
Isn't King Kong legendary Universal? Is that, or is that?
Well, he
Gives
was
a
in
shit.
he was
It's
in
Marvel.
Space Jam 2, so I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
so.
Yeah, maybe they own like the. Yeah, maybe that is Warner Brothers.
I
Fair enough.
think so. I think the Kong.
The point is, I'm angry because I don't have any kind of closure. What is the benefit of Neo and Trinity making the Matrix nicer? Like,
What do you mean? It's like redoing your house. It's like
I guess it's
paint the
nice to
walls.
all the like people in suspended
It's like
animation.
scrubbing your toilet, dude.
They get to live in like some world where everything's wonderful all the time. But like, it's not. There's a bigger goal here. You got to wipe the fucking machines out.
So
Yeah.
he's like Jesus, and he has like Jesus powers. He can fly.
But then how come he's like, I'm recreating the Matrix, and in this new one, I'm rich?
Yeah, exactly. That would be a good movie.
Well, he's rich in this one.
No, but he's like, I'm gonna have like billions.
Yeah, It's like, I can do whatever I want whenever
I'm
I
gonna
want.
build a rocket and stuff.
Well, if they do a movie where it's like, you know, him and Trinity are remaking a Matrix, and Trinity's just like, and I created a stable, I've created this
Just
amazing
Animal
farm.
Crossing.
Yeah, and Neo's just like, oh man, I fucked everyone.
I got a skate park in my backyard.
And like naked boobies around it, like drawn onto it. Imagine if at the end he was like, inside this Matrix, I'm gonna make a movie adaptation of my video game, The Matrix. And then Trinity looks at the camera and goes, why not a trilogy?
He's like, you know, he can make anything. He's like, I actually made weed, but it gets me really high.
It's like weed, but it's like
super
better.
powered.
It's like good. It's like
got-
strong weed.
It's got chili powder in it.
It's like, because the Matrix isn't real, I made the weed that, like, it's got, like, other drugs.
It's just love that, like, the idea that, like, the next movie is them fucking with the code and, like, treating it like a game of The Sims and, like, locking people in rooms.
Yeah, just walks in and he's like, my Sim's drowning, or the house is on fire and I removed the doors.
What if the
Just a
next
massive
Matrix?
sandbox game.
Yeah.
What if the next Matrix is just finding out how many Matrixes there are? And how many
Yeah,
times the
right.
same thing has happened,
yes.
where there's just like...
Yeah, the old simulation inside a simulation.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to increase the computing power of this one by so much that we could build another Matrix within it.
I was thinking like a neighboring Matrix that they can sort of have like a LAN party. Like, they have to get an Ethernet cable.
Did you watch to the end of the credits?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't.
They had a little
I
joke
skipped
scene
to the
at
end,
the
yeah.
It was
Oh,
like
okay.
another the exec pitching. But what was the line? What was the actual joke?
I think they were like, the future of storytelling is in cat videos.
Yeah, what was that?
That is
might have
funny.
been. Yeah, that was the end, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
that's not in the movie you saw.
I haven't seen that part.
It's
no.
just like a cut scene of that montage of them all pitching. It's just one extra one.
They keep going.
I'll tell you what, though. Imagine this. This is my pitch.
Shit, here we go.
The Neil Patrick Harris thing happens. They say we're going to build the Matrix in our own image and stuff, and then bam, someone crashes through the wall, and it's and he goes, Neil, we've got to get back to the future, and it's a DeLorean,
Yeah,
and then
that's
you've like crossed franchises,
Yeah.
or maybe it's Rick and Morty. Maybe it's Rick and Morty. You
I
get,
got
Neo
one.
and Rick and Morty.
Yeah, if you really want to shit on the Matrix's
What if
legacy.
Neil Patrick Harris is like, okay, Trinity Neo, you get what you want, and then he sort of just like clicks his fingers, and then you just hear like, kids, this is the story of how I met your mother.
Yeah, and it's a dead Bob Saget just hanging.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on. He died like a few days ago.
Well, you shouldn't have brought it up.
It's not my fault.
Is he the narrator in that show?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's future Ted.
I
Why?
heard
No reason.
when Bob Saget went to heaven, he knocked on the door and he was like, "Hey, can I get in here?" And they said, "Sorry, no, we've got a full house."
Oh,
It's good.
oh,
Yeah.
should have really lined up that.
It's sort of like when Courtney Cox went to the heaven's gates and knocked on the gates, and God came out and said, "Sorry, no, you can't come in. We friends." It's sort of a similar kind of joke.
All right,
Is that why it's funny?
You've used the same setup
Yeah.
and a variation
And
of
a
the
TV
punchline,
show.
like the TV show
Yeah.
they were in.
That's good. It's
But
funny.
it doesn't make sense.
What?
It has to make sense.
Okay, hang on. I'll try one more.
All
okay.
right, if you get this one right, I'm gonna hit the applause button on this.
Oh, there's an applause button.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of pressure on. So what was yours again? Yours was not
Full
so
House.
we've got a Full House. Okay,
Yeah.
and so Full House. Okay, no, I see what I've done there. So Full House was sort of earlier in the 90s. So what's a sitcom from the earlier 90s? Okay. So same thing. Michael J. Fox comes up and he's like, "Hey, can I get in? I died of Parkinson's," and God says, "Sorry, family matters." No, that's a different show. What's it called? All in the Family. What show was Michael J. Fox?
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Oh, sorry, Family Ties. So that's the good sound, right? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, no,
sounds
so
That's
less
the
like
sound
crickets
of crickets
than-
applauding the joke.
It sounds less like cricket's more like a
Swing set?
bicycle that needs.
Oh, did work with
oil.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Should I try again?
Yes.
One of the actors goes up to.
We need the name, otherwise I don't know the
Yeah,
picture.
we're gonna need. I need a
Glenn
picture of him.
Howerton, Charlie Day.
Rob
Rob McElhaney.
Okay. Anthony Kiedis goes up to
Okay.
goes up to the pearly gates. He says, "Oh, can I come in? I'm dead now because I had too much heroin." And God says, "Scar tissue that I wish you saw." Whoa, that one actually hurt my pride a little bit. That's full on. Okay, so we've done the movie. It was fine. I had fun for the first 45 minutes, but I feel like that's the case for every movie I watch.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes, I'm just
There's
done.
a leeway, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like any movie, 10 minutes guaranteed, free my attention.
Yeah.
After that, I want to hopefully like the tone or see where it's going. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
Then 40 minutes in, you better be going somewhere that I am interested in.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Like the toilet.
yeah, this movie loses points when you get out of the Matrix, but it also loses points in the Matrix. But it also gains some points for
being a Matrix.
being
a sequel
Matrix
to a good movie.
And that's the thing, like, is it the best Matrix movie? No, that's probably going to go to the Matrix. Is it
the best
second?
Matrix sequel?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I
I think
probably
Reloaded is better. I like Reloaded better.
Yeah.
This movie to me is like a 6 out of 10. Like, you can watch it. It's all right, but
I
it's
agree.
not good.
It's a 6.
I'll throw it up at like a 7.5, and it's purely on the legacy that it has.
Just on the fact that it had scenes from the original Matrix. You're like, that part rocks.
because I thought that I think it made my brain go a little bit in some parts. Like I thought I had to apply a little bit of thinking about, tying it to the original Matrix and understanding that universe and how some of the ideas were kind of interesting enough and engaging enough, but the action sequences were not, and there's big gaps of like, okay, I'm not having to piece this together anymore. I just have to watch them do bad kung fu. But then, of course, on top of all of that, the detraction is that it didn't need to be done. It's shit. It's all tacked on, right?
Yeah.
And the first one's perfect.
7.5?
It didn't really.
It's getting 2.5 based on like that's what do you call that when someone builds up like
Accumulative.
Yeah,
points.
they've accumulated trust in me, and so I'm giving them 2.5 based on that. On top of the 5 that I would give it otherwise.
There was no big beat.
There was no big beat.
Yeah.
That's a huge shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the song at the end.
It looked inside the there was a lot of stuff that was quite striking to look at.
But there's something about having like a worse cover version of the original song at the end that kind of
actually
sums up the whole movie.
Did you guys notice towards the end of so I didn't see all of the credits because obviously I didn't see that last scene, but towards the end of when it stops being the big names in the screen and it goes to is it a Chiron? No, what is the scrolling text. Like halfway through the text, then you start having like this sort of yellow sort of liquidy stuff like trickle down over the front of the screen. Did you notice this? It was like sort of no. Oh, okay.
Is it a joke or is this real?
It was like sort of urine-y kind of stuff coming down over
You're just
the
saying
front
like
of the screen.
your kid was peeing on the screen or something?
I was trying to do a call back to the woman who pissed on the man's face.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's all this
really had
pissing
to
noise
go.
in that song.
She really had to go, didn't she?
Dude, that's a lot of piss.
Yeah.
It's just sprays everywhere. It's crazy.
I think she said at one point,
So odd.
like, I have to really go to the bathroom, and then like kept playing, and then someone was like, you can piss on my face, and then she was like, okay, and then like 10 minutes later was like, where's that guy? If you want to do it for real, come up here right now. But then she pisses on his face, and then she's like, get the fuck out of here. Get that security, get this freak out of here.
That's what listening to Rage Against the Machine will do to you. It gives you an attitude.
Do you reckon Zach De La Roca was watching that and being like, man, that is hardcore. Like
Super
we
hardcore.
never raged that hard against the machine.
It's so full on, man.
Yeah.
It's sick.
It's so weird.
He's
It's
'cause
my
like,
favorite
I'm gonna
band now.
I'm gonna have to take a dump on a chick's face
it's like
next time we play.
it's the thing you remember from the original, but it's also like the most jarring thing that happens in the original.
What, the
Pissing on
piss?
someone's face.
The piss.
What are you talking about?
You get pissed. When the Rage Against the
Oh,
Machine
dude,
song's
yeah,
on.
I
You're
remember
just like,
when
what the fuck?
I was so pissed off. The first time I saw that movie, I was like, what the fuck? That's
But you
so
know why
fucking
they
lame.
did it.
No, I don't.
Because of the name of the band. That's the,
Oh, yeah,
the
you sure?
only reason.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? What are you,
The end of the first Matrix film is
you were pissed
shit.
off when it happened?
Oh, yeah. I thought it
because
was so
just the way he
lame.
flies.
It's just so dumb.
Well,
Not
the flight.
cut to
I would say the
the-
cut to the song.
All of it.
That pissed me
Everything.
off.
It's like, it was like in a dialogue of like, yeah, so that's the story of how I got out of the Matrix. Nowadays, I just do this. See you later. Look at the camera, wink. Flies into the sky. Oh, he's super. So lame. And the name of the song, Wake Up, right?
Yeah.
Is it the same song in both movies?
Yeah.
I don't know Rage Against the Machine that well.
Yeah.
You only know.
I'm more of an Anthony Kiedis fan.
You're definitely a Fred
I
Durst
don't
fan.
like Rage that much.
Should we end the podcast?
No.
Should we all
sorry. Yes,
press
yes.
the button together? 3, 2, take the pill
Let's go.
that's
Right
blue.
into the show if you liked the podcast.